Yo, what's going on, guys? I hope you're all doing good. I hope everybody's staying safe. I haven't really known how to address this whole situation that we're all going through. If I'm being honest, I've tried to sit down a couple of times and make a video and talk about this whole situation, and it just didn't feel right. So I thought I would get on today and just share some music with you guys, share a couple of little music production ideas that I've been exploring lately, and just kind of hang out. Like all of you, I'm sure, I'm trying to navigate this whole COVID-19 situation. As you can obviously see, this is not my studio. My wife and I are not currently in New York City. We were fortunate to get out beginning of March, and we've been down in Florida staying with family ever since, self-isolating obviously. We're all just trying to maintain some semblance of normalcy through this whole thing, and hopefully we'll be on the other side of this soon. But in the meantime, I obviously still want to make videos for you guys. It took me a couple of weeks to kind of get some makeshift setup. I've got a mic attached to my phone right now because I don't have any of my gear with me. I did fortunately bring this guitar down with me, which thankfully I did that because I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't have a guitar. I think I would be losing my mind. But if you haven't seen the video where I compare all 5 of these D'Angelico DC models, definitely go check that out. It was a really fun video for me to make, and hope you guys enjoy it. And you know, as far as my content on this channel is concerned for the foreseeable future, I would love to know any ideas that you guys have, maybe a Q&A, maybe some different production stuff, some discussion topics, anything you can think of. Definitely leave that in the comments below for me. I would greatly appreciate it. So today I'm just gonna share a few little tiny production tips that you can maybe use. These were all things that I used to make the little track that you heard at the beginning of this video, and hopefully they'll spark some creativity in you too. All right, quick little location change. My camera kept dying out on that porch because it was like directly in the sun. But anyway, I wanted to share just a few ideas with you today. They're all completely random, just some production sound design stuff that I'm playing around with right now, but hopefully they'll spark some ideas in you, and maybe you'll find something here that you can use. So let's check it out. So a couple of these ideas I got from Jordan Rakei. If you don't know who he is, he's a UK-based artist. I'm a big fan of his, and during this whole self-isolation quarantine time, he's been doing a series on his YouTube channel called A Song From Nothing. Definitely check that out. I'll link that in the description below for you. But it's basically a live stream where he builds a track from nothing, from the ground up, kind of all centered around a certain concept or instrument, whatever. It's been totally cool to watch Jordan's creative process, but of course I wanted to take some of the concepts, some of the little tricks he was using, and try using them myself. So one of the first things that I did was try using some atmospheric noise in the background of my track. Now, I had done this before, but I always looked for bird sounds, or like the wind blowing, or like waves crashing in, or rain falling, like nice and soothing sounds that kind of blend into the background really well. And one of the things that I watched Jordan do was find sounds that are a little bit sharper and kind of poke their way through the mix in different points depending on what sample you're using. And I really liked this concept because it disrupts the groove of the track a little bit, and it kind of keeps you on your toes. So I literally just took one of the samples that he was using. I found it on Splice. It's a sound called ATT Atmos Slates, and you can see I downloaded a few of them. But it's this really kind of aggressive texture that I buried in the bottom of this track. And I'll just play some of it for you. Let me play it with the drum beat. And you can barely hear it, but if I turn it up a little bit. And I used a little bit of micro shift on this track just to kind of give it a little bit of stereo width. You could use chorus to effectively do the same thing, but I just thought it was such a cool feeling. So definitely something that you might want to try out. It's kind of a cool little concept. If you're not subscribed to a service like Splice or something like that, just search on YouTube for royalty-free ambient sounds, and you'll find a ton of different stuff that you can download right from YouTube and experiment with. The other concept that I wanted to experiment a little bit with was this idea of a pedal tone or a pedal point. And this is a concept that I've definitely used before, but wanted to revisit it after watching Jordan's videos. So the concept is you take a single tone or a single note and you sustain it over a long period of time, a specific section. In the case of this track, the note is just sustained throughout the course of the track. So the main idea I had for this track was this little guitar part. And I like the idea, but the chords are in G major and it's a very bright sounding key, and I just wanted to darken the sound a little bit. So I ended up just adding some string pedal tones, and All three parts are in unison. They're all playing in E, which is obviously in the key of G, the relative minor. So the pedal point kind of grounds the whole song harmonically, and in a way it kind of shifts the whole song from a G major sound to an E minor sound, which I really liked. I'll turn this up so you can hear the strings a little bit more, but listen to this with these strings added. And these also get buried pretty deep in the track. It's just really more for feeling than actually something the listener is hearing and paying attention to. But it's kind of a fun concept to play around with. You can take a chord progression and then experiment with using different notes as a pedal point and just seeing how that changes the feeling of the song. So try it out. Another totally random tip: if you're looking for a really good MIDI bass sound, and I definitely was for a while, check out the Scarby Rickenbacker bass from Native Instruments. That is not an endorsement at all. I just think it sounds pretty sweet. I just really dig it. This last little tip is something that I use pretty often, and it's a nice way to add some movement to your track. What I like to do is I will take an electric piano sound. Here I kind of tweaked the smooth jazz stage preset in Analog Lab, and I just play some rhythmic octaves or like a little pattern or an arpeggio or something. And then what I like to do is I take a delay and I turn the dry wet knob all the way to wet, and I'll put like a little ping pong effect on the delay. Here I'm using the H delay from Waves, but you could use any stereo delay, tape delay, really any delay that you like. And I just set it to some sort of nice rhythmic feeling. In this case, I used a dotted eighth note delay. And when it's really boosted in the mix, it sounds a little jarring, it sounds a little out of place. But as you use some reverb to kind of set it back in the mix, I used a phaser on this. I used this automatic panner from Soundtoys just to kind of further spread the sound out in the mix. You end up with some nice movement in the background of your track, a little bit of ear candy. It's definitely something that I like to use a lot, and you can get really creative with this. So definitely try this out if it interests you and experiment a little bit with it. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up this completely random quarantine video, but I appreciate you sticking around if you made it this far. Definitely check out some of my latest videos if you haven't already. There's a great giveaway going on over on my Arturia MIDI keyboards videos. You could win a V Collection 7 plugin bundle from Arturia. Great synthesizer, keyboard, electric piano sounds. I use these plugins on every single track that I make. So if you want to be entered to win that plugin bundle, definitely go check out that video. But listen, guys, stay safe, be well, and I'll see you guys real soon, all right? Peace.